Welcome back to the wonderful world of sensors presented by Kentucky First Robotics, sponsored in part by Kentucky National Science Foundation EPSCoR. This lesson will be about color sensors. To start off, we will discuss what a color sensor is. Then we will jump into finding out how they work. Next, we will talk about the uses of a color sensor in First Tech Challenge. And finally, we will have a brief review over everything we've learned in this lesson. Let's get started by discussing what a color sensor is. A color sensor, also known as a photoelectric sensor, is a device that emits light from a transmitter and detects the light which is reflected back. Let's demonstrate this with a scenario. Imagine you and your friend live right next to one another and you want to communicate with your friend. You pull out a flashlight and shine it into the window of your friend's bedroom to see if they are there. They see the light, pull out a flashlight of their own, and begin to shine it into your room. You both then begin to use Morse code by repeatedly turning on and off the flashlights to receive each other's messages. You and your friend have essentially become human color sensors. You are using your eyes to sense the light and are using your mind, the computer in your head, to decode the messages reflected back to you. Your eyes are essentially color sensors. Then again, you could also use your cell phone and send a text or even call your friend. But that isn't as fun now, is it? But anyway, you may be asking yourself, why is it called a color sensor if it emits and detects light? Shouldn't it be called a light sensor then? Well, light is actually made up of many colors. Think about going outside after it rains and seeing a rainbow, or holding up a prism to a beam of light and seeing the colors separate out at the other end. That's light being refracted and separated. A color sensor is able to detect certain colors, then react by communicating with other components. In fact, as discussed before, our eyes are essentially color sensors. We use our eyes for basic everyday tasks like sorting objects by color, watching for the light to change at a stoplight, and watching cat videos on the internet when you should be doing your homework. While it's harder to explain specific objects that have color sensors, we can discuss some of the industrial uses for color sensors. Manufacturers are able to use color sensors to perform tasks such as sorting and inspection, detection of color changes, signal lights, and more. In FTC, there have been many games in the past, and there will be many more in the future that involve sorting by color of some type. Additionally, you can use color sensors to aid your bot during the autonomous only portion of a match to help guide your robot towards objects on the field by tracking the colored tape. They can also be useful during teleop. Let's take a look at a color sensor from Rev Robotics. This sensor is able to measure and detect red, green, and blue objects, as well as clear at a rough distance of 5 centimeters to 25 centimeters for version 2 sensors, and 1 centimeter to 10 centimeters for the recently released version 3 of the sensor. They are also able to connect to an expansion hub with the provided cable, and they have versatile mounting capabilities just like the touch center counterpart, but always remember to mount them properly. Does that make sense? If not, feel free to go back and watch again, but if you are good to go, let's review what you've just learned. First, remember that color sensors are essentially your robot's eyes. Recall that just like our own eyes, they're able to detect different colors and are able to be programmed to react to specific colors such as red, blue, and green. It's important to remember that color sensors can help your robot perform tasks such as color sorting and navigation on the playing field. Finally, remember that a color sensor, much like a touch sensor, is able to work in tangent with other components on your robot. Look at that! You've already made it through lesson 2. That was a breeze! Well, congratulations on completing the second lesson of the wonderful world of sensors. If you would like to access more resources to aid you and your team, please make sure to check us out on our website at kyfirstrobotics.org and follow us on our social medias. That's all for now. Thank you again for taking time to watch this video. We will see you next time.